Hey cuties, what's up? We're back with some more of the daily note. Now I know I haven't been doing the daily note that often. You know, I haven't been doing a daily like I'm supposed to be doing, but I actually have a long list of things that I need made here. And we're starting off with something I really want to make, which is, of course, this toy phone, which is a real toy phone in real life. I think it's called like the Chatter phone or something like that, but I think it made an appearance in Toy Story at some point, I think. But where I know it from, of course, is Skinamarink, which is something I've mentioned before on the channel in like rad videos before. But yeah, I want to make this Skinamarink toy phone, which if you don't know what Skinamarink is, it's a horror movie. An indie horror movie. I don't think that many people have probably seen it, question marks. I don't think it's easy to find it and watch it, but yeah, I mean, I believe I liked it. You know, it's interesting, it's different. It's like an analog horror movie, honestly. I don't know if there's any other analog horror movies, like actual movies. You know, like professionally produced analog horror is what I mean by that. Not just like something posted on YouTube, but like something that's actually made to be a feature film. And that's what Skinamarink is. But yeah, I hopefully will be able to do this. I have several screenshots here of the real toy, not the from the movie, but of the real toy, so I can try and get this done. So we're gonna start with a cube, I think. Go ahead and edit that. Let me just tab out real quick, actually. Just putting the music on loop. Okay, so we need to scale this down. I could just scale this until it matches. But it needs to be extended on the Y about that much, maybe. Scale on the Z a bit more. Just zoom out and look. I think you want it about here. Like that, maybe about that much. Let me just get a look at the back of this thing. Okay, it is just one solid piece that I don't need to do anything else. I'm not going to add the cord to the front of it either. I'm just going to have it without the cord. So yeah, the bottom of this thing is simple. I can't tell if it is slightly wide or not. And by that, I don't know if like this is scaled on the X like that. You know, like is this slightly like that? That's hard to tell. I think I will scale on the X just a smidgen, like almost unnoticeable on the X. Then we're gonna take the whole thing and bevel every corner to give it a rounded look like that. Shade smooth. There we go. So we need to come in here and maybe like mark seam on that. And I think I could just live with that. That'll just rip itself and spread it out from there. So I can just live with it being cut like that. Okay, so that's the beginning part. Let's do the wheels before we move on to the rest of it. I don't know if I have a good side profile over here. Let me see. In the pictures that I'm looking at, not really. The phone's in the way. They do kind of lean down though. Yeah, I don't really have a good depiction of the wheels, but I think I can I know what they look like. So we're gonna make a cylinder here. Go ahead and edit that. Just move it into position so I can already know what I need it to look like. Scale that down. Needs to be rotated on the Y by 90. Or is that the Z? I don't think it's a Z. Rotate Y. No, that's on the Y. I don't know why it says why it said Z there. I think it's just because of the angle that I was looking at. So it needs to go here, but it needs to be bigger than that. About there, I think, is nice. You need some space here. Some space here. Potentially more than that. I'm looking at the image. Like sometimes it looks like it's right on the cusp, but sometimes it doesn't. I could think it maybe it needs to be bigger than that. You know, like really riding that edge there. Maybe even bigger than that. And like there. Because you can maybe see every time I look over there. That's me looking at the image. Yeah, I think that we want a decent amount of it pointing down, and then a little bit of space here in front, and then we need to scale that on the X to about there. I can live with that, but we need to take either side here and bevel that nicely. Actually, what I'm going to do is cut into this wheel, scale that up to about there, and then bevel that. A little bit more, scale it a little bit higher. Then bevel that to about there. But then I'm also going to come in there and then grab the edges here and then bevel those down. Like that. Like so. Then we're going to come into here and here. And then insert faces. Like that? Question mark? Can I scale? They will go inside. I don't want them to do that right now. Scale. I'll have this on. That doesn't need to be on. Scale that down. I need to see that. I keep like copying because I'm whatchamacallit. So we need to now we need to scale them on the X inward a little bit, like that. Then I might just bevel that to give it like a nice curve on the inside, right? So it doesn't look too deep, which is a problem. Let me just scale it on the X even deeper. Then we can do that. And then take this and insert face again to about there. Then extrude that out. And then we're going to go ahead and bevel that like so. I might even like push that back like that. Then I'll just come in here and sharpen that down. Shade smooth. That looks perfect to me, but I need to edit this maybe come into here and scale that up. And just make that bigger, a little bit bigger. Hope that doesn't mess too much up. I know that looks fine. Then we set origin to geometry. This needs to be set to its geometry as well. Take you and get you into there. Like that. And then we'll go ahead and mirror this to you on both the X and the Y. And now we have our wheels, which again, they might be small. How much space should be here? This is too much space. I don't know if that means the wheels are too small or if the base is too big. So I'm going to scale this up there. I'm going to move it down to here and then push that back to there. And that's much less space there. Obviously, this needs to be pulled out as well to there. I'm assuming there'd be like something underneath that would be catching that, but we don't really care about that right now. About it looking natural, we just need it to look the part. I think that's fine. Maybe I can come in here and take this and pull it down a bit like that. Like so. I guess now let's do the top part, which isn't as easy. Question mark. Add cube, because I need to see when it stops. I don't know if I got like a good aerial view of this. There's like that much space at the end of it, and basically the same amount up front, so I can just do that. Edit that. So it needs to be scale on the Y to about there, but then where they're placed is different. Actually, we don't start with that. So this part here is to about there. You know, right next to that wheel. Right? You can scale, and the distance from the edge is about the same that it would be from here. This, however, is like going to be about there. I'll give it a little extra. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be close enough. And it's not like this is that high up either. I don't know if it's angled up either. That's kind of hard to tell. Let me just grab this face, and by angled up I mean I don't know if this is doing that. You know, if it's doing that is what I'm talking about. It looks like it. Kind of. So, like maybe I'm getting like a good front view so I can see. So from a semi-front view, It might be slanting forward as well. I would argue that it's maybe about there. This is bigger than this, so this has to be like that. This has to be bigger than that. And it is slanted forward, so this is like all the little details you're gonna like not get it right, I feel like. So that's like that. This feels flat though from looking at it. I'll just accept that it isn't. And then this will go up to, let's say there. Right, it doesn't have to be too much. I'll give you about that much. I think that's acceptable there. Now, do I start modifying this? Because what we need is to add a piece to the back of this, but like, what's the right distance? If I do 5, is that good? 7? Let's try 7. Which by that I mean I'm going to take everything in there, dissolve these edges, and then that gives us this piece here that I can successfully pull back to there, right? To about there. The thing is, though, that this kind of extends past that. So we need like a cut here. Further than that. A cut there. I might even cut the other side. Which, if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to cut it down the middle and then do this until I have an even cut on either side. Like that. And do the same thing. Dissolve those edges. Ambiance is finished. Gotta wait for it to start back up with a new song. I think this is slightly indented, so I'm gonna have to do that at some point too. Like come back into here and cut. Like that. Maybe an 8. 8 seems fine. I need like a... Actually, 8 might be too much. Like a 6. I need a lump here. So this might actually be too much as well. About there. And am I going to get rid of that? So... here and here is fine. I need to just like do that now so I don't get confused. I'm just going to raise that up. It's not going to be that high, but I'm just raising it up so I can see. Then I'm going to take this, right, and put that down a smidgen, and not a lot, just a smidgen. Then we can do the same thing in the back. Raise those up. Just the problem with this is the trying to round this stuff out later is not going to be easy at all, if even possible. Next we have to, let me just grab this, pull it down. Next we have to do stuff like that and bevel it. give us like a nice roll down. And then pull that back up. Probably just to the edge, like that. And there's like 7 by 6 by 7 dots in the middle of this. I don't know how I'm going to treat that, or if I just want to draw that on later. This is complicated. I need like all of these to be beveled, but how do you do that with an object like this? Right? Something this that looks like this, because you know you need this line to be beveled, sure. But then you also need this and that, and then every corner, maybe even. I grabbed that line down there, don't want that. You need that stuff to be rounded off, but I don't think that's gonna look good. That's everything I need to do. Should I round this off too? Would that help? Grabbing the sides as well, not just the, what you call it. You could do that one, these sides as well, but I don't think that makes sense. Maybe it does. This we don't touch, the back of that we don't touch, but maybe this as well. And just pray for the best. Because I can't really get a decent bevel out of that, right? Because it's going to goof up. Pretty heavily, you know, because of this here. Like this is already starting to look weird. This corner gets goofy as well, though it's not horrendous yet. It only kind of is. If I do that, I need to come over here though, because I didn't need this to be that big. And we'll just smooth this down, even further down, like that. So all the edges are rounded, these nubs are rounded. Very bad geometry, but we can live with that. See how it ends up looking weird there, but what can you do, right? Other than keep this as a separate piece, I guess I could have done that. But this needs to be attached to that. Oh yeah, this needs to be lowered as well. Oof. Now this connects into that. Should I just like say screw it and not make it like that? So let's just like roll back. I'll do that off camera. I'll be right back. Alright, so I rewound up to here. So what I was saying was do like that is what it meant to do. And then we could just attach a new piece to that exact area. So with this, I'm trying something here. Is there everything I need to grab other than the in-betweens? Right there. Oh, and the corners is here as well. Like that. Then you can bevel that. That obviously isn't what we want, but just seeing what I can get away with that. So about there. I didn't bevel this. I forgot to grab that too. And the corner there. Basically everything around this side except for that. Now it should be okay. Oops. There we go. Now I did that before doing this part. I figured it would make it easier. I'm not sure. Maybe I should have waited and done it together. We'll see. I'm just gonna cut that down like that. I'm kind of fine with that. Then we grab, I think what we need to do is take this and insert faces into that, and then we can extrude up. Even though they need to be pushed back, so then take that and possibly push it backwards like that. And then we can go ahead and bevel these. No, not that. It's just gonna be the whole thing, right? So I might as well just do that and then that. Maybe I should put it back in the middle first. And then we can bevel. Like that. Is that everything? Can I move? Yeah, without issues, yeah. I'm gonna get that like really close to that. Then grab the top here and then just keep pushing down until we can get it to like there. We have just like this piece like that, though. These corners should have been beveled harder than that. You know, like this should have been like a harsher curve, which is kind of hard to do. I would have to do that individually. Like a lot of this maybe I should have just done by itself instead of trying to do it together. Maybe that would have went further. So like this is okay too, but let's duplicate that. I pull that out so I know that it's there. Oh wait, we can't do that because if I duplicate it, I can't like undo all the things I did. So yeah, we're gonna pause and then come back, and I'm gonna do everything and see it, try a different version as well. Alright, so I undid that. Now what I was saying was I think maybe it would be better if I did this individually, because these corners here are harsher than they seem. So then take that and then that and then bevel that. So that gives you that kind of shape there, which is gonna, don't know what that's gonna do later. So now we have that happening. I'll ignore the bottom because it should be flush anyways. Actually, I could do something cool with the bottom. I need to think about that. then we take the outside. Like that, and then we bevel that. Instead of trying to do all this at the same time. Like that. And then with the bottom, what I want to do is take a slice. Slice it to about there. Right? Then take the bottom. Let me just do this, that'd be easier. Take the bottom. Scale that out pretty far and down. It doesn't matter. Then take a cut into that. Scale that in. And then bevel that. Right? And then all the shade smooth. And then if you have, I don't know why it's like, it's not like, what you call it, but like when you have the same color for this, let's see, it will just like bleed together and you can't tell. Like if I come over here and new main white color, I guess it needs to be like an eggshell white, so I don't know, like around here. You know, it needs to have like a little bit of yellowness to it. Now let me just make sure this is main white as well. And then we need to turn on the subsurface as well on that. The light is just so... Why is the light so bright? That's a 1. A 3. 1, 1, 3. It just seems like it's getting so much light, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was hoping this would like blend down nicely, but it's not really doing it. It would only work if it was a solid color. Yeah, we can just undo that. Undo everything we just did, which is fine. So undo that, get rid of that cut. And I don't know why that's not shaded smooth. Edit that. I'm just going to grab the bottom of this and pull it down just to make sure it's intersecting with that. I'll go ahead and add a slice so that stops looking weird. Just turning the ambience back up again because this is so low. I can barely hear it. Okay, so now we go to edit this and then we can, well, we can't because of how this is created now, but that's fine. Maybe I can do something. I can't cut into that. Can I, you know, like, do that? What I hate is, like, I don't know how to make a straight line with cuts, right? I don't know how to force it to be like, it's doing weird stuff there, of course, but like, how do I get this line to be straight? Like, Control doesn't do anything, Shift doesn't do anything, Alt doesn't do anything, Alt Shifts, like, just any combination of this doesn't make this line straighten out. Middle mouse button just unhooks the camera, so that doesn't work. Because if I could get a straight line, that would do a lot of work, but it's not happening. What I would have to do is, cut here, cut there. Well, if it did let me, but you can't see it. Cut here, and then down the middle. I don't need to. Now we can take the knife tool and click on this to that. Just enter that. Then the knife tool from here to there and enter that. Let me just hide that because it's in the way. Knife tool from there to there. And now this should be perfectly cut in half, yes, but I think I still cannot. I can't intersect, but what we can do now, I believe, is take this and bevel it outwards. And now it doesn't have any say in what happens in between here. Because now I could just freely cut into this if I want to. That looks good there, right? We can take this and this. Question mark. So we can take you and you, insert faces into that. Extrude that up to about there. Take the rest of that. Grab your bevel. Make sure not to go too far. And then there we go. And you unfortunately get like the line here because this has been sharpened out too much so that you can kind of see that, but I am going to pretend that doesn't exist. And now that part's done. Oh yeah, if you don't know what this phone looks like, you're probably just like just watching to see what this ends up looking like, but if you know the toy, then you know. I can't really easily show you what it looks like. You'll just have to wait. I mean, you've seen the thumbnail, so if I did a good job, you'll know what it looks like. So then we need... Did not want to do that. Add cube. Need this over here, scale it down. Now it needs to be lowered down like that. Then of course this needs to be about there, question mark. Now it seems like I don't have enough room to play with this. And then the whole thing needs to be scaled on the X to, let's say like there. And let's just go ahead and grab this corner and this corner and bevel that. Do I want to insert this first though? To save me the hassle of having to do it later. Actually, what I should be doing is not this because I need to get them to link up, kind of. That's fine, I guess. And then we'll go ahead and grab this and dissolve those. I'm going to take this and then let me scale them on the X, which pushes them towards each other. And scale that on the X and push them away so that they match that for when I want to do that. Then we can take the corners and bevel that a little bit. Then yeah, I need to look at the back of this. It looks so much smaller. Like from their perspective on the back of this thing. The nubs here and here have like an inch in between them. So it's like the whole thing is skinnier than I think it should be. I don't know. If I took this, and this, went to edit mode, grabbed everything and scaled it on the X, would it be fine still? Or what? Like, is that still okay? I guess? Question mark. And then all I have to do is just push these into place. Push them back into place. Then do I want to do something like grabbing this here and here and scaling that on the X and pulling them towards each other? That doesn't mess anything up, right? No? Yeah, pull those towards each other. And then come over here and do the same. Where I grab this and scale them towards each other like that. Even do the opposites and take these and scale them away from each other. They're still not like an inch away from each other, but it's better than it was, I think. We're trying to get this to look accurate. I didn't cut this in half though, so I'm gonna struggle doing that. See, it doesn't want to do it. That's fun. Then do I want to... What we need to do is take this, I think. And bevel that. Like so. Then I'm going to try and cut into this. Oh, that is not straight down the middle now. It's crooked, unfortunately. I can fix it. I cannot have to worry about that. I can fix it. Then along the bottom. Then we take the knife tool and connect these points together. Just gonna enter that now. Get to the bottom of this. I think I need to actually remove that. I have to see it like this, otherwise it's going to cause issues. U to U and U to U. There we go. Then we're going to zoom out like this. We're going to do this, and then we're going to scale on the Y0. And then now that's straightened that line completely out. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go ahead and bevel to the edge there. And let's just bevel until we have like the shape that we want, right? Which is that question mark around here. It's good enough. So actually I need something to happen with this. Yeah, I need that to be scooted over. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just is gonna bother me if it's not, though. Scale this on the Y to keep pulling it. Because I need it to have a area in between that's like that. Because I need to pull this down. I just need to get in here and get another cut to about there, right? I don't know how thick these are actually. Okay, no, they are actually pretty big. Like, these go up pretty high. And it's not just that, it's like they go up, this whole section goes up together. Like a wall. It's almost like I should just divide this into a different piece again. Just have that be its own thing. Which I'm probably going to do just for the sake of sanity. So let me pause and come back. Okay, we're just going to start over from scratch with that. So this is going to be put into 3 pieces instead of 2, because it just makes it easier on me to do it that way. Instead of having to create this crazy geometry. I'm trying to get the side to look at. Okay, so let's take this, scale it on the X to there, basically. And then this top part needs to be like there. I need to see the bottom because we need the room to see. So pull that back like that, and this will be the room for that. A little bit more maybe. And then this in the middle, we just need to insert face into this. Like that, maybe scale that on the X a little bit. Though that actually isn't right, we don't want to do that. We want to do this until those edges are pretty close. Like about there. I'm do the same thing as usual, which is remove all of these lines that aren't the ones that I wanted. So all those edges, and I just have this and then that. Oh wait, why is that there? Did I forget that one? I must have forgotten to grab that. Now, is that how I want this to work? It needs to be scaled down, which actually means we need to do this. We need to do that. And then we can come in here and then pull that back down to there. Yeah, that needs to be like that. Then I can round that stuff out later. And then in here, what can I do with this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do 6 then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's gonna be like kind of hard. I'm just gonna do something weird, unnecessary. Oops. Insert faces into that. And then, well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I can't really do the same thing. I'm just going to do that. It needs to be every other one. You, then you, and then you, we take everything, we subdivide that like another time, then we need to individual origins, I think. Loop circle, scale that down. That some of them are smaller than the other ones, that's fine. Actually do that. Extrude scale. And then extrude down. But you know I like to do that, then extrude that down, and then down again. And then I'll just live with that, with some of the holes being lopsided. That's like human error, right? That human error. Which looks nice. Then we're going to take this and this, and we're going to bevel that. Maybe not that much. The faces do not like the shadowing like that. We can come into here and just do that. Insert face. Like so. And come over here. Do the same thing on either side. That fixes that, but then we need to do the inside as well. You, and then you. You can get a face inside that. And then if I can successfully grab everything here, that would be great. And then remove this stuff. I didn't mean to grab this either. That could be a problem. There is a little thing there though. I don't like that. We don't want you. We don't want that on the other side either. If we grabbed it, does not look like it, but we have this grabbed as well. We can't do that. Have to do like this. And try to remove that. And the other side. I think that's fine. And you insert face into this, and it'll just do the outside. The outside ring. There you go. And that'll be colored black into that anyways. And then now we need to add the back to this. I might even want to increase this. I'm just going to move it up to like there, maybe pull it backwards, then grab this and just make sure that's below that. Oops, I just saved on the thing. Let me save as. What are we? I don't know where I'm normally putting these at. I forgot. Is it in its own folder? Yeah, it's here. I was already there to begin with. I want to go with the skin phone, but it's not that. Toy phone. Skin. It's like Marink. There we go. Now you can see it's saved. Saved properly. I gotta go back and delete all this stuff from the base setting now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add another cube. Edit this. Get that into position. Right there. Whoops. think like that. Scale on the X. It's probably fine. And we need the cuts into this to match the sides there. So I'm just gonna do the same thing that I usually do. Let's just get this until it matches here. That's good. I'll do the thing where I remove just these ones and then take this and this and then pull this and this and then scale that on the X. Are you individual? It is median maybe. And then scale on the median to where that needs to be, which is about there. Grab you, scale you on the median. There we go. Maybe take this and push it back a smidgen. Give that a little bit of room to breathe in the back there. Take that. You kind of want to bevel these corners already though. They need to be done together, so maybe I just do that now. Like that. Let me reference the toy again. Okay, no, this is elevated a little bit. Sides elevated slightly. I might still push it down just a little bit. And that lets me move this up. And we need to possibly bevel this by itself first, like that, maybe? It makes a weird look to that, but that it actually looks weird on the toy as well. Yeah, just like grab both sides and then bevel them. Maybe. We're not getting the corners too though, so that's a problem. I might just want to bevel the whole freaking thing at once. Guess I'll grab the bottom as well. Is that the whole object? It is the whole object. I'm just gonna select the whole thing and see what happens when I bevel it. That seems fine, except for that, like, maybe I want this to be past the edge a little bit more. And of course this bottom part needs to not be showing. It needs to be down below that pretty deep. I hate that it's making that shadow like that, but oh well. And lastly, we need to, can I cut this in half again? I see that we need to come down to about here. I'm going to cut again. I'm just going to grab these faces and pull slightly out. Maybe I wanted to go like one deeper. I should have had this like this before I started. And I'm gonna have the things here in the middle rather than, what you call it? So it has some like sounds boxes, I'm guessing, is what you would call these. Make this look really small. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is probably fine. So I need to just cut so I know where I need to go. Cut there. So I need this and this and then this and then that. I'm going to insert faces, just have an outside notch and then extrude in a little bit, then extrude deeper in, and then one more time. And that'll all be black on the inside. And then I can go ahead and come into here and remove these because I don't need them. No need for them to exist. Okay, so the main part of the phone is done. Just gonna apply all this stuff now. Wheel. This is like a deep blue. Maybe a little purple in that? No, not a lot. Not in purple. Just really dark. Maybe slightly desaturated. About there. Looks about right. This is plastic, so it does need to have some of that shininess to it. Let's just see what that looks like right now. Unfortunately, that is like that, but I don't really care that this is like that. Because maybe the toy would just look like that. So these wheels look perfect. Just maybe need some texturing on that. Question mark. This is gonna be a while, I think. Unfortunately, we've barely gotten anywhere with this. I mean, technically, we just need to do the eyeballs and the rotary on the top, and then the phone. Let's try to do the phone. This is going to require a UV sphere. Now, we're going to edit this and move this over here. And shrink it to about where we think is good, which is like right about there, and then we could just like scale it up if we need to. So from there, I'm going to take the bottom dot of that. And I'm going to delete these vertices, take the whole thing, squash it down on the Z a little bit. Take the outer ring, extrude that down. Like that, and then scale that in like that. I'm looking at this phone. Further down. The hard part is having the connection on this, which a lot of would just be mirrored, I feel like. It's gonna mirror that. Like, let's fill that in. I don't know what the phone part looks like, actually. I could take an assumption of what it would look like. Question mark, but I don't actually know. I'd assume it would have to be something like... Insert faces first. Something like that. Then let me just cut into this, and then I don't know. another cut like that. Then you would like do this. I don't know, have this set to a number that would allow you to do this. I might have not set it to an appropriate number. Okay, it is. I'm gonna do something like that and then, you know, subdivide. Okay, that subdivided weird. Can I remove every other one then? That makes a weird position, but it will. Yes, everything has 3 spaces in between it. Subdivide that. And then circle that. Then we can scale that in. It's creating funky, yeah, medium point. It's creating a funky shape there. Individual origin, scale that up. And you should already know what I want to do, which is going to be insert faces at the edge. Then extrude up, and then up again, and then up one more time. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the middle. Just scale that up, and then in, and then up, up, and then up. That it has like holes in it. I don't even have to like modify that in any weird way, it just works. So again, the thing is this stupid thing. Because I need to get a good, like, straight shape out of this. Which might just require me to just not try to do anything and just connect them. It's not going to look good, but what can you do, right? So edit that. Pull it up. Go here. Scale it on the Z. The X. Squash it down into the... I need you to actually be on the same... I think they are on the same thing. Scale on the Y. On the Y to about... there, probably. You kind of do want it to, like, fall in, but it needs to be less on the X. There we go. Then you cut it down the middle, you raise that up, and then you guessed it, you bevel that bad boy down. Just a matter of like trying to get it to look nice, because this corner is not great either, because it needs to be scaled on the X, and then that needs to be pulled down. Scaled further on the X, and then it's just not gonna be too nice looking. Could first try to get it to look the way it needs to be, like these getting beveled first, so that it actually kind of is okay. To me, that doesn't really look too good. Like trying to get this to do what I want it to do, I think it's going to be kind of hard. I probably have to like pause and then come back once I figure out how to get this phone reshaped right. Like maybe if I can cut it in half, I cut this in half, I could get something going. Let me look at this again. So you can't really get like a good cut, right? But also we did all that stuff underneath. If I cut it like that, is that a full perfect cut? It is. Of course you can do that and then pull it in half and then try to mess around the inside, but that doesn't work well because you'd have to scale it on the Y to try and like reconnect it, and that just doesn't work, I don't think. Yeah, phone shape is just a very oof shape of an object. Undo that. I am probably going to have... Oh, also this needs to be rotated, by the way. It needs to be like that, which is probably also why I'm getting thrown off. It needs to be slightly tilted. Go ahead and edit this now. That might help a bit, but not completely. I think I have to do this by hand. Let me just delete everything except for a singular point. So now all I have is that point. I'm also going to generate a mirror. I have this point, so I'm just going to put it like there. And just extrude it. Like that. Get that curved better. Oops, no. Just have that plugged into that. I don't know what the... I don't know what the foam looked like from underneath, but the inside actually isn't... Which else? Why isn't clipping that on? There we go, fix that. This looks weird, I don't know why. It doesn't look like it's positioned right. See, this doesn't look right. It makes it seem like it's not correct. Have another... Where's... Okay, it's there. I was like, where's that other one coming from? There, and we can just have that be down there. Like I was saying, like this... Like it feels like it's flat. So I should have did all that together. Like grab this whole section and extrude down like that. Yeah, like this, scale on the Z0 is flat, weirdly. I don't know why it's like that. I guess it needs to be flat to hang on the phone, right? That's there. Let me actually hide the phone. I need to staple this together. So this doesn't really matter what this looks like inside here because you can't see that. What matters is everything else. So if I... Which way is this facing though, actually, is what I need to know. Mesh. I need to turn on orientation. That's the front. That matters, because then I can... oh, you see this? Now that this is like that, I can actually see that this isn't correct. It needs to be right on the edge. Granted, this feels like it should be higher. Even if that is supposed to be flat. And we could just add some layers into that. I guess I could, what I actually could do is take that and dissolve the edges there and then cut into this. Drag it up and then hit you with the bevel. So we actually have a perfectly curved thing there, and then you just take this and then scale Z0 so that it ends up being flat. Like it's supposed to be there. Yeah, something like that. I don't think this is supposed to be too rounded, so I'm just gonna slowly lower that like that. And then we'll generate solidify. Even though I probably should just mirror this, which I'm just gonna mirror that on the Y. Which is perfectly fine. Apply that. Then go back and edit it. And then can I just do this? Fill that in, grab that, hold F. Yeah, it's going on. Oh, it stopped. Oh, I thought it stopped. It's just like a short curve there. And just keep pressing F until it completely fills in. There we go. And then do we want to take this, take these edges and then bevel them? Is that a good idea? Question mark. I don't know, because it might ruin the aesthetic of these sides that we got. It might ruin the way this looks. Well, that still looks like that though, so that hasn't changed. Edit. Need to see something. Take this, I want X turned on. Does it move the other side? It does. Oh, you know what I need? I need this to be cut down the middle, duh. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that earlier. Let's scale that out and then bevel that. Oops. So that it kind of agrees with that a little bit better. And then you can take your sides and do whatever you want with them. Yeah, that kind of falls into the line of that a little bit better. It just will be showing through. Can you set that to geometry, please? Moving that around in hopes that it looks fine. So yeah, oh well. Phone. I don't know, 1. That is not how you spell phone. I don't know where that I came from. These little wheels. Cubes can just stay cubes, I don't care. You can be parented to that so that when I move, they're not me to do it. Does this get parented? Yeah. I wanted to set origin to geometry. But when I do this, it will be fine. It actually is too far, which is okay, because this is still mirrored. I can just scoot this into place there, question mark? A little bit farther, a little bit more over, like that. Then I can take this, edit U, and scale it on the X until it fits again. Like that. Scale on the X a little bit more. So there we go, that's that. Then we need the rotary on top. Still, which isn't that difficult. And the eyeballs. And the rotary has 10 circles to it. Don't do that here. Scale on the Z until it's pretty flat. I'm just gonna push this down until it's like the size it should be. It's pretty close to the edge, but not completely. So like about there maybe. How big that should be. Now it's like, can I get just 10, exactly 10 things inside of this? I'm going to cut this in half. And remove the bottom vertices, and then I'm going to mirror on the Z. This needs to be towards the bottom. I don't know why it's not mirroring properly. Where's my mirror? Hello? I wonder why it's not... oh, it's up there. That's weird. Why is it up there? Oh, because of the geometry. Origins geometry, my bad. There, and that needs to be clipped. And then I can just pull that however I need it. That's fine. Maybe I shouldn't even bother with that, actually. Let me not bother with that. We just need a circle. So I probably should just spawn in a circle. So delete those vertices. So we just have just a flat plain circle here. I'm going to pull that back up and then turn this stuff back on so I can see where it exists. I'm going to scale that one more smidgen down. Then we're just going to do what we did earlier with the rotary phone, with the phone itself. Insert face. I'm just going to put that all the way to the center. Center of this thing doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up with another piece. Then it's like, okay, can I even create 10 circles into this thing that don't look too ugly? Because I don't know if there's enough room for that, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm giving them room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not even with me keeping pace correctly, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can get 8 out of that. We need 10. Okay, we need 10. It needs to be uneven. So we can get 8, so 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think think I need to add 16 more lines to this. So I'm deleting that and then adding a new cylinder. And then adding 16 to that, so 48. Or more than that. 10 gets you to, yeah, that's fine, 48. Then edit that. Just gonna remove the bottom again. That's just a circle. Scale that down. Scale it up a little bit. Insert faces again to the center. Then cut here and then close to the center. Or not close enough to the center, like there. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. So 1 and then double space 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 and we have a lot of space. Actually, maybe give it a little bit too much room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We do have a lot of empty space here, but we didn't really want that much empty space. But I can live with that, I guess. We'll see. Subdivide. That might actually already be okay. Circle it. Scale on their own. Dimensions, they need to be scaled from the median point now. Get close to the edge. Then extrude. Hold on, don't do extrude. Insert face first. Insert face. Then we can extrude down. Extrude, extrude all the way through. Extrude. And I'm actually going to kill the faces. Am I going to kill the faces? I don't know. Because I need the outside to come with me, actually. And then connect to that. So that's kind of where you need this to be. Solidified. I'm gonna solidify this first. Apply that. Go back and edit it. And both for attach to each other, we can just. Can I slice down the middle now? I can slice down the middle now. Actually. I'm doing so many hoops. Faces, so we need to keep it like that. I'm jumping through so many hoops just to do this, but that's fine. Now we mirror on the Z. Origin. Edits. That's the top. So clip. Get it together. Oh, there we go. Unfortunately, I don't have this connected anymore. So I specifically add an extra thing on the inside so that I can easily grab them, but it won't let me, so we'll just do it the slow way, unfortunately. Like that. Then I'm going to extrude all the way down so they clip together. So those faces are clipped together, and then I'm going to delete just those faces. And then now it's cylindered through it itself, like that. And then we can go ahead and grab our sides there, bevel that. Like so. Shade smooth. Apply that. I've been forgetting to do the subdivision for this stuff. I probably should stop doing that. Stop forgetting to get the subdivision going. Not subdivision, Jesus Christ. The UV map. These cylinders, maybe we need to do the outside, but that's kind of a hassle to come in here on every single one and cut them out. So mark seam on that, which leaves that. And then just do the same thing on the bottom. Mark seam. And then this can just be ripped. I guess you can cut it in half. What does this look like when I... What the heck? Whatever happened there, that's not what's supposed to happen. Unwrap. Sure. So this is unwrapped now, and then are you unwrapped? Obviously not. Can I get a... Okay, that can go all the way around, so I'm gonna mark seam on you. And can I just live with the rest of it just being cut like that? I guess I could... What does it look like? This ends up being weird, but so be it. You're slightly unwrapped for now. Let's do this one now. Where do I want this to be cut off at? Because this isn't going to be too easy to get a clean cut. So the back is cut off there. I'd love to be able to do that for the other side easily, but that's not gonna happen. Gotta do it by hand still. Okay, that... I don't know why that went that way. I guess because that's just how that is designed. That's going around the side here. It's weird that it does that. Okay, that's all there, right? And I need to remove the stuff off the bottom as well. Yeah, I knew that was going to do that. Oh, there's a little bit there as well. I don't know if I got that on the other side. I probably did not. Nope. Mark seam. Well, I didn't. Get rid of this. Now we can mark seam. So the front and back are cut. Maybe I can just grab that. Not that though. Mark seam there so it tears down the middle, and then that is fine. Yeah. So that's unwrapped, that's unwrapped. I think this is already unwrapped technically, but I didn't do it yet. And then you... kind of would want to do the same thing. Question mark. It's just too hard for some of that. What happens if I go over here and just smart? What is it gonna get? You get enough faces? You know what? That's good enough for me. So your custom unwrapped. That's unwrapped. All of this is unwrapped. That's unwrapped. These wheels aren't unwrapped. Not that they matter too much, but I think we just would go into here, mark that seam there, and then you're good. I guess you could come in here and grab that as well and mark seam there, but that's it. Don't need to do any more. And then unwrap that. And then that's what you get. Okay, now let's get the phone. Oh, the phone hasn't been unwrapped because I removed it. Edit you. Do we want to unwrap it there or no? I don't know, I feel like this one would be more better off just us custom. Cause you get the, I don't like that, it doing that, but what can you do? I'm gonna accept that for now. And then with this one, that should be easier. Just grab a face and then just live with it. Do any of these cycle around? No, none of these cycle around, unfortunately. I could just like mark seam like that, and then it'll just be enough. And just to like not care too much about it. And then we just grab this and put this in position where it's supposed to be. Well, actually I shouldn't do that yet because we still need we need the centerpiece. Cylinder. Is it still centered? I can't tell if that's still centered or not. I need you to be in the middle here. Zero. And where's the new cylinder at? That is perfect, I guess, but we can just scale it a little bit down. Then on the Z, move it up on the Z, scale it on the Z a little bit more. Probably pretty thin like that. And just sit that on top. Don't really need to do much with this one. Can just take, well, I'll scale on the Z a little bit more and then move it up. Just take the top and bottom there and bevel that. And then I'm just going to come into here and insert face to the center. Can I that? I'm just gonna do this because I don't want to deal with the paint later. That paint via shapes like that. I still need to insert faces here again to about there. Then extrude that up and then bevel that back down. Like that, and then we can just scale that down, take a cut here, mark seam on that, and then come to the bottom and mark seam here, And then I can just live with that being the way it is. Maybe unwrap that. Yeah, that's fine. Shade smooth. And then that's perfect, so put that. No, do not do that. I always forget the button. There it is. Cursor to world origin. Now, why did that? I was doing this. Parent object. So now when I move this, it'll move that. Let me just origin geometry and just move that down a smidgen. Then we need to rotate this until it's perfectly angled. That seems like it's already perfect. Angled on top of that. That looks good to me. Question mark. This video's like an hour and 40 minutes. I got a stream internal turn today. So yeah, that's fine. Maybe we want to push it a little bit further back, just a smidgen. I need to come over here and actually look at this. Possibly gain a base into this. Problem with that is I can't scale it how I'd want. Cage doesn't do anything. I need to scale this along itself. Proportional. It did scale like that on the Y, but you see, if I do it on the Y, it's just going to do that. Scale Y. Right way to normal? Is that how it works? Yeah, just scale it on its normal. I need to move these vertices though, like this, like these here need to be straightened out. And what is it that's on the Y? Scale on the Y to 0 along the normals, just to fix that. That looks fine. Let me just re-grab this. Scale on the X a little bit along the normals. There we go. So I don't have to worry about that later. I'm just gonna go ahead and mark seam on this as well. And redo that. Okay, it's almost done. And by almost done, and not even close probably. We're missing the eyeballs, right? That's it. The nose as well. Mesh cylinder. Thankfully these things want to stand out. Let's rotate that way. -90. Get into position. Like about there. Yeah, that's, oh my god, that's perfect. So then pull that in. Pull that out, and then bevel it until it's perfectly round. Like that. This doesn't need to be so far, and I just need to be far enough in. Get that in there. Shade smooth. And where is the... Okay, so we can use the inner circle there to color that red. I don't have to do anything crazy. So the nose done. Nose. Dial. Body. I should have done the body like that first. Because if you do it that, it will slowly change the name, and then which one needs to be you. You need to be the main one. No, switch to... Okay, will not give me that. 0.003. So this is the 4. There, body 1, 2, 3. Now those eyeballs. Eyeballs are easy because it's just a UV sphere with a slight modification. Edit. Rotate it this way, 90 degrees. I can't see, so we'll do that. Yeah, just rotate it on the 90. You never want to reset its geometry though. You just do this. Proportional is fine. And just cave that in. A little, maybe not too far. And then we can have like blue and then the black on the inside. Maybe scale this. Scale that up. Scale that down. Like that. And then shade smooth, and you're already done. And then just gotta position this into place. Oh, it doesn't shoot. Because I moved it. I have to do this all over again. You can't move it from that position. You have to do all the editing down there. Because when you're editing it like that, you're moving the position of it that it's in. Pull that back again. So like that. I'm just gonna continue pulling it back, but a little bit less. Then scale up, scale down. I don't have to scale that down. That's fine. Shade smooth, and then turn everything back on. And scale this into the position. This needs to be reset its scale. I just need to be bigger than that. Reset the scale. And here generates mirror on that. That size is correct, but would they need to be further in? Like that. Yeah, maybe like slightly bigger and maybe slightly further to the side. It's hard to tell. There's a decent amount of space here. And let's see if we can come in here and modify this. And at the 18th hour. Not really without doing some major modifications. So that means I'm going to duplicate this, scale it up, Go ahead and edit it. Pick the point there and just scale that back. Scale everything up and just keep pushing that back. Just because I'm being lazy. That's doing that now. Because you need the eyelids around the eyes. Like that just isn't for this thing. This cretin. But you need the black in here as well. Which only really works if you modify the main piece. How I'll go ahead and do it, even though it's going to be a pain in the butt. Let me just delete that. Edit this. Do I want to cut this in half? Would it, like, save me the trouble? Can I cut it in half? I can cut it in half. The fact that I can, does that just mean I just do it? I guess so. Then I'm going to do that and delete the vertices so it's cut in half. We go ahead and generate mirror, clip that. So now we need to look at this from above and select these vertices here, even those as well, and not proportional, and just bend that to the side. Take this, bend it to the side, so that the eye falls inside of that. Then we take this and we get a insert face, scale it on the Z, make sure it's on the normal. Okay, scaling on the Z doesn't do anything for the normal, which is weird. What about the Y? Okay, scaling on the Y on the normal actually does something. Need to push that down in on the normal. Okay, turning on normal doesn't do what I would want it to do. There. That's good. Good enough for now. Need to clear the seam. Take this, subdivide a few times because I want it to be pretty circular. Circle, scale it down on the normal, and then move that on the normal. Don't want to move there. You gotta move on the Y. It's weird that the Y. Why is it moving that way? Because of the camera? It has a new, like, presence now that I've done that to it. Moving it this way doesn't matter though. It being like that though is probably fine. Let me go ahead and insert faces. Plus that up. Scale. No, whatever just happened, do not do that. Scale it up a bit. Again, on the normals. Looks like it's still there. Go down a bit, and then I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to kill these vertices. Nope, not the vertices. Kill these faces. So we don't have like a weird pattern there. Then we can extrude this backwards. I'm just going to extrude it like that, maybe scale it outwards. And then fill it in and then see what that looks like from the front perspective. The eyes need to be bigger than that, I think. So I'm gonna undo that. And I'm gonna like maybe scale it up again, but then extrude. Scale that down maybe, and extrude. Scale that down. Extrude it out, scale it down. Doesn't really matter. Then fill that in. Oh, did not want to do that. Fill that in. Need to like take this and then scale it down, I think. You don't really want it to be too exposed in there. I'm gonna move that down, but like not on the C, right? You want to move it down on the Y? Normals? Okay, doing that does make it go down at least. It's too much though. 0.5. Okay, so now I think what we want to do is just, I don't know, because we can take this part on the outside. I think we need to scale it out. No. So do that on the normal. Because we need to, well, one, get another cut into there. Then two, we need to take like this and like move it up or something. Maybe this one as well. Move it up. Normal. 0. And just scale that upwards. That I can get another cut in here. And take this and actually pull it out. We can just take these and push them in. We probably want to have proportional on, so let's undo that. Take the center piece. Actually, no, don't do that. Center needs to be the furthest out. Then these two close behind. And then just keep slowly pulling them until we get something nice. We need to be further. Further out. I think this needs to be like that. And then that. And we can do that. And maybe we need to move that down. Probably need to move that one too. Like scale it on the X that way. Then move them both down. And forward maybe. Scale on the X again. We're getting kind of like a jank here, getting into the weeds. Not trying to make this act right. Normal, 0. Okay, that's on the X now for some reason. I guess that's fine. What happens if I get a cut in here? Try to get like a nice sharp there. It actually rounds the eyelid out when I do that. Then let me get in there and maybe cut here. And then mark seam on that. Mark seam on that area. And then we can apply that. UV editing, unwrap that. I don't think I need anything else. Question mark, I think it's all good. Question mark. Now it's just a matter of doing the painting. This needs to be... No, didn't need the new color. Main white as well. This could be the new color I accidentally made. Eyes white. That can just stay this pure white. It's not too bright, but that's fine. The audio needs to hurry up and reset. I hate when it's just quiet. So now we take you. Eyes blue. Then we'll just make this black. Toy car black. Just in case it gets mixed with anything else that needs to be black. Assign that to that. If we can get the inside of this, please. Assign that to that. Not quite the same blue as the wheels. Slightly desaturated. Like around there, so, and this is just going to be pitch black. Okay, so the pupil does need to be bigger. Now that I see, computer's dying, by the way, trying to do this, so that needs to be like that, and then use that, perhaps. Yeah. And I think I want these to be much more reflective. And then the rest of it. The ring up here needs to be main white. Same thing with you. You need main red orange because it's not quite red, not quite orange. What's the shine on this? 0.5 still. Can I get a 0.4 for that, please? Thank you. What are you at? 0.4 as well. I think we just need the 0.3 is good. Subsurface doesn't need to be that strong. Also, it doesn't need to be that red either. It needs to be yellow, not... that, so move it up a little bit. I think is fine. It just needs to be not white. Maybe we'll actually turn this back up to 1. The scale maybe 1, 2. Okay, scale is too much. We don't need to be that strong. Oops, didn't mean to do that. 0.2 is okay. It's just adding like extra colors that it doesn't need to add, but that's fine. Point three. The eyes are a 0.2, maybe a 0.1 for shine, just to compete against the everything else. Thank you. You are around, you know, that's pink. Like full, but like around there, I would say. Like that. Then your shine, 0.3. It's a bit more matte, honestly, than the rest of it. I don't know. Probably should have added the, whatchamacallit, that, let me see. I was so focused on adding the string. Okay, so it goes in the back like that. Alright, so let's go do that. Let's add cylinder. I'm going to edit that. Rotate you 90 degrees. Scale you down to there. And then it goes here. Right in the middle of that. Scale it up a little bit and scale on the X. Goes up pretty far. Farther than the phone, actually. Kind of stays. And scale it up again. And just pull that back. Do that. Take that. And you already know what we're gonna do. We're gonna bevel that. I might just take this face and extrude it in for the sake of shape. Shade smooth. Geometry parent to that. You take the orange. The positioning there is weird, but what can you do, right? If I booleaned that into that, it would be better, but I'm not gonna do that. I don't like bullying things. Curve. Path, because you know I like path. Edit. Get me centered into the middle of that. And then we just slowly curve this backwards to where it needs to go. This needs to go here. Oh, I need to do the... It's just a hole in the back, so I actually don't need to do anything. I can just go straight into it. This needs to be pulled back that way. I just like don't want to bother adding any more points, but there we go. Helps add that. This shouldn't be below the wheels though. I need this here, so it means I need something to subdivide that so I can pull this up like that, so I can have them engaged into the back of this. Same thing there, but I need a second one and pull that up so this actually doesn't act too weird. There. That's probably pretty okay. Same thing with that. Maybe another one in here just to try and fix that. There we go. We come over here, we make that 6. Geometry, rounds, resolution 2. It's pretty thick. This line's not supposed to be that thick, so it's supposed to be like a 2. So I need to make that smaller, but that's fine. And then that can just be like that. This is actually kind of like intersecting to the bottom a little bit, so let's go like that. I'll take this, edit it, scale it down, like that. I'll just go ahead and give it a slice. Mark seam, I'll maybe like grab something down here. Mark seam on that. Then try to grab the face on the inside. I think that hit, right? Yeah, that looks good. And we can unwrap that. There we go. I don't need to unwrap the rope because it just naturally has perfect UVs. There we go. Now we've finished that. We just need to finish decorating the thing. Save. We need a nose color. Bright red. It's a clown red. Very shiny as well. Toy car red, I guess. I'm running out of time. Next I need to do that stream because I have a booster running in Eternal Return. Yeah, that's fine. And then really shiny, so 0.1 on that shine. I don't know if I want to increase the width of that. And just hope that it doesn't break everything else. Should I pull that out now that I did that? This color still isn't doing it for me. Yeah, let's go back down to that. That should be fine. I think this is a bit too much, like 0.8. 0.5? Yeah, I lost a little bit of it the nonsense that was going on there. Then we need to come over here, edit that. I specifically went out of my way to make this a certain way. So this. Okay, so hold on. Let me just do this. Control L. Toy car, metal. Assign. Crank that. Oh, actually, no, it needs to be like here, right? That's what we normally do. U, metallic, maxed out. Too close, can't see. But then we need to. Like, this needs to stay white. Like, everything needs to stay white, but then I need to, like, remove a bunch of this. Let me just do this, that'll help. And then that's the middle. We just go like 2 more. And then a Control I. Invert that. I don't know what to call this. Toy dial blue. And then that needs to be like a baby blue. Actually, that's pretty good, but maybe like a little bit more blue. Like that. And then that metal is fine. Like, the lack of shine on this is driving me insane. Coat. Like to force more shine on it, which it forces reflections. Yeah, now we have like a little bit of reflections, but the reflections aren't really being picked up, unfortunately, but at least it has some reflections now. And then this thing down here. The reason this is cut off because it needs to be colored in, but it's not really like it's easy to do that. I can't cut it in half. I could have done something though. What happens? It's what? It's 8 different colors, so I can't really do anything, but I could, if I want to be messy, like get a straight line across, and then like take a cut from here to there, maybe, and then from there to there, no, to here, like that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. That lets me be lazy. Christ, like the damage this does to the computer. I need 8 different colors. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So new dial. Let's go with blue again. And then you are here. Sign that and make it nice blue. Then you are like dark green. Dial dark green. 2, 3, 4, 5. Assign you. And you would be like, what the heck? I don't like that it's not getting rid of that. Now I have to undo this manually. Because it didn't change right. It still needs that yellow. Like too sickly yellow. There. Now, why did you do that? Because when I'm clicking on this, it's switching back to that. No, assign to that, you crazy. Maybe like around here and then down. I actually can't see. We need to tab out. Not tab out, but it feels like a bit more seafoamy. Like closer to the blue spectrum like that. There. Then dial green. I needed to be able to see that. So they didn't like hit perfectly down the middle, but it doesn't matter, right? Because you can't see that they're covered. Assign to you, and then you need to be closer to yellow. Like around there. It's like a, not necessarily a pastel, but close. And then this. Assign new. Dial yellow, I believe. You are just yellow. Dial yellow orange? Question mark? There's like 8,000 different shades of orange. I guess this would be red. Like obviously it's trying to do rainbow, but color's just a little bit wonky. Signed you. And then slightly over in this direction. Not too much though. I don't know, like there? I guess. And then you. Assign new dial. It's just orange. So that can just be a straight orange. And then you assign new dial. I hate that the frame rate's like sub 30. It just can't handle me doing this. Closer to over here. And then this is a purple-ish color. I'll just call it purple. Dial purple, because it could be purple, it could be indigo. You never know what the heck this is. Not quite. It is somewhere around here, maybe a little bit darker than that. Like around there. Now, I'm not going to add any numbers or anything inside that. I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Now we have that. I do need to like draw onto this, I think. But even though I went out of my way to not have to color that, I will have to do with it. Also, we need to come back here. Forgot. And edit this. Grab inside that. And keep plussing. Undo that. So I don't want to go too far. By that I mean this edge here. Like, where's it at? Like that edge there. I want to keep that edge. And the rest of that will be black, so... Where is toy car black? Oops, did not mean to do that. I have to main white. There we go. Make sure that we undo that. The new one, yeah, because sometimes undos just don't work. Like, it doesn't know what to undo, so it just completely skips some stuff. So assign that. Even though that should be actually different. Let me just do that. Toy car matte black. I need it to not be shiny. It needs to not have anything showing. And assign that to that. So you just can't see into there. And then we need to do the same thing for the holes on top of this thing. Edit. This is going to be harder though, because they look like this. I might have to just do that, I guess, like that. Granted, I don't think that's grabbing all the... Yeah, it's not grabbing everything. Oh, why am I, like, taking extra times? I could have just been doing it like that. I didn't need to. Do it one at a time. There we go. Same thing. Drop it a couple times. New thing. Get the black in there. Not that one. We need matte black. Then assign that. There we go. And every time I see this color, I'm like, that doesn't look too good. That color looks bad. Increase it up, or just pure white. Like, the pure white is nice, but I don't know. I still think it needs to be like an off-white. Like off-white with no subsurface, maybe? I feel like it needs to have like some subsurface, 0.4. Like some subsurface and slightly off-white. The eyes are whiter than the body. So now we need to get in there and draw on this part. So go to shading over here and make this a new thing. Main white, bottom body, I guess we'll call it. We'll go ahead and add texture, image texture. Do that. It needs to be mixed with a mixed color. This color needs to be in that. UV is fine. New 4096. 4096. Toy car bottom body. This needs to be white. Okay. Then click on that, go to texture paint, and save that in your textures so that it doesn't get deleted. It's going to save the whole thing. Now, do I get my pin out? I think I need to, so let me be right back. Alright, Alright, so one problem is that subsurface scattering does kill any texture you try to draw on it. Also, is this still? Yeah, it's still recording. I turned the screen on my tablet. It looked like it messed everything up. Do I have... Yeah, I have wireframe on. I don't really need that right now. Well, maybe I do. I'll leave it on. So we can maybe start with the beginning here. Go X. Maybe, no, I guess it doesn't need to be like that. It can be like this. Like a front face. I know this might be kind of difficult for me to do with this. Maybe like a darker, like a dark red, I feel like. This needs to be not so big. Some stabilization, not a lot. I don't know if that is a lot or not. Let me just see what this looks like. I think that's acceptable. Let's see what it looks like when I actually do this. I was about to like to where the eye is. Hello? What the heck? So it drew. Oh, because I don't have it plugged in. Duh. I don't think I have this. Yeah, I don't have this plugged into this. So do that. Plug you in. My bad. I forgot to plug it in. So slightly past the middle of the... Right there. It's about here. See what I mean about the subsurface scattering? It completely killed the color red here. Actually, I don't know what's going on there. Why does that look like that? Hello? Why is that gray and not red? You can see that it's red over there. But it's like gray there. Is it? Oh, because of this. My bad. That was my mistake. It wasn't the fault of the thing. That was just me looking at that wrong. So we can put this back a little bit. Hopefully. Point. Or I don't know what the subsurface was for this. It's 0.4. Okay, so that's fine. Texture paint. Look at me from the front, please. I will need to erase this because I don't want that. Like that. Add that. Give me white. Because white is the eraser. Here you can actually see the subsurface in action, actually killing the thing there. It needs to like go way down, weirdly down. And this doesn't cooperate because of the what? Yeah, this is slightly sharper than that, which is a problem. need to add white over here. I'm gonna have to keep picking it out. Slightly darker than that. Just gonna add some of that to that. Let me undo that. The strength down. Come out here so that maybe we'll have an easier time. Yeah, strength, even though the strength's pretty low, it's still doing too much. I'm trying to just add a little bit of dark fade to this. I need this to be off it. I hate that every stroke I have to wait a little bit. I can't just draw because my computer is a freaking tin can. Every time I let go of the pen, I have to wait several seconds for it to go away. Oh, I should have turned this up, my bad, to max. Supposed to be white inside of this, by the way. Which I can't add whites with how this works. Can I do what it wants me to do here? Just like that, which should have been underneath this. I feel like I have to do multiple things here, so let me just do that. Let me duplicate this. Oops, don't know what I just did. Do that. Delete that. New. Yep. That's usually what I do when I'm doing this. And then this needs to be plugged into this. You need to be on top of that. And then this on top of that. So that we come over here to the second one. Save as Toy Car 2. I can't see the other one, but I can draw underneath it. So the other one is multiplying on top of this one, so it should still work. Yeah, see, it's underneath it. I keep pressing undo and like nothing happens. Like a huge thing like this. And then maybe a little bit of red there. Like that. And crank that to the max. Give me the white. And then you can just try to slice that off. Like that. I'm just trying to get that so this needs to look like it's blended in with that, actually. It's fine, we can just fix that later. Yeah, like this paint here is not... It's too dark. Probably should have done this before. Trying to erase this. I take the blur and like pray that it's fine, because trying to blur stuff in Blender on a tin can like my computer is not a good idea. As you can see, it froze. Don't forget to save that. Shading, I'm going to click on you. Texture paint. Don't forget to save this. And what I'm going to do is try and blur this into the paint underneath it. You can even see my mouse when it glitches out like this. I just save, just to make sure we don't lose anything. So yeah, so that's like bleeded in now. We could take the smear and like try to smear it into that, which does do a little bit extra work for us. Just make it a little bit more creepy, right? Save that. Let's see if we can get that teeth underneath it, just the white color. So what we need to do is create another one. Let's create another one of these. And then we need to plug that into here. And this into that. And I think it needs to be screen. And then this needs to be... This needs to be black. Right? And actually what I need to do is... Oh, that's actually fine. Because the color is there. Though, actually, no. I need to screen this on top of the main color, but if I do that, it's going to... Oh no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, see, it's okay. It's just trying to get the white to fit inside the paint is going to be a pain in the butt. I guess unless I do this backwards. Hold on. Maybe I need to take... Let me just plug this here first, actually. Take this and move it down here onto the main color, right? This needs to be on the main color, which is this. So move this and put it into here, and then you slowly add the goes together. So this needs to apply to something, so I guess we can just remove that. This needs to plug into that. This goes into there. Then this goes into here, and this into there, and then that into that. Yeah, so like this is multiplying on top of the screen here. So this is screening on the base color, this is multiplying on top of that, this is multiplying on top of that. So then I can just come to this one, texture paints, save 3, yep, save that, make sure it's fine. And because this is screening, I would hope that I can get the white in there the way I want it to, if I layered this correctly. Is this pure white? This is pure white. X on. X is on. Is this going to work the way I want? I can't tell. I'm guessing, but yeah, I can't actually tell if it's doing it or not. You can see it there, so probably I need black. I can get rid of this. I don't believe I missed down here, so that's good. Get the white back and just make sure we get this filled in completely. Do I want to add like teeth to that or what? You can kind of tell that it's brighter than everything else. Then the sides. X is still activated. We can get like a pure red. It's kind of the same color as the lips, so that's fine. And we need an opposite of that blue, like here, and apply that as well. So take the red, get a big radius, maybe, and it's like in the middle of this, so that didn't do anything because it's on the wrong plane. So save this. Go to shading, go to the one at the top, because it has the strongest pressure, texture paint, and just click in the middle here, just keep clicking. I think that's fine. I shouldn't click too much though, because then I might not be able to undo that. Yeah, I can't add any more to that. Then do we just take whites and go an 11? Maybe like an 8. Now this would be Fisher Price, but we're not going to be Fisher Price, obviously, right? We had issues with writing stuff before. Like K is so disgusting to try to write. Right? I don't know why K is so ugly. Is a K just like an ugly word? Oh, that's a pretty decent K, I would say. And then let's put KT. I was gonna say like cutie price, but let's go with KT for cutie tactics. Which means I kind of want to do the other. But the K cooler than that. K is just like not a nice word. Someone needs to tell me how to like draw a K or write a K that actually looks nice. That just looks weird. Does not look like a K. The back needs to be straighter, I think. I don't want to spend too much time on this. And also, because this is mirrored, it probably looks like it's reversed on the other side. I need to check that. Yeah, it's reversed the other way. If that's the case, I'm not going to bother with that. Also, it's, you know, the red. I don't know, can I see the other side? I don't know if I can see the other side. If the red always has to be on one side. Like, what does the right side look like? I don't think I have an image of what the right side of this thing looks like. Unfortunately. That sucks. Because it means I have to actually come over here, turn X and Y off. I don't know what number I had it on, like 44? No, definitely not that. Maybe I did, I was just like, not this. No, I don't know what I had it on. Let's go with 77. And just, I don't know, do something like this. But then, like, do this, just so I know like where the dot was, question mark. And then same thing with the other one. Also, there's like this happening for some reason with this shape. I don't know why. They have like things sticking out of it. I'm just gonna do like something like this instead. Man, why is K so bad? Like, what can you do with K? Like, you could try and do both sides like this, sure. And then like that, but then the top part sucks, right? I don't know, this has to be good enough. What did I do? I went like that, and then that, and then that, and then just a little bit like that. I didn't make it so elongated, it's like that. Unfortunately, we also have to do it for the back as well. Red first. I need the path out of the way. red first, then the blue. This isn't as big as they should be. The 8, I guess. Well, actually, we probably should take this first and, you know, get the little nubs. Then the K again, just curve. Then U. Then a little one. Like that. Then we just need to add like a bunch of like random stars everywhere. And they're not even like colors that match too well. Just like green, like dark green and like red. Like red, obviously red matches, but like dark green and yellow. Let's take like that yellow. Then this dark green, we'll just live with those colors. 6 maybe. This button, I forgot what button it is. I feel the mic is not close enough, so if this is making a lot of noise, my bad. So this... that's not the color I wanted. Different kinds of weird colors. I don't know why. Like this didn't look too nice. Not nice, but like... why it wasn't solid enough. I think it's just because I wasn't using the mouse. I was using the pen to do this. There's one on the front, but I don't know if I want to ruin the front of the face. I think I want the face just to look normal. Some here as well. I didn't see. Some of them are supposed to be back here. do that. The phone's actually in my way. Yes, this one didn't come out too well because of that. That still is ugly. I think one of these stars is like purple. Maybe you should have added purple to this a long time ago. Okay, so we do have like a bunch of stars everywhere, like we should. We have more over there than we really needed. Question mark, but oh well. And save that. And save the whole thing. Get the phone back in there. And the rope. Oh, I never colored the rope. Duh. Is that fine? And why does that phone orange look off? It's not off, but a little bit more red, I guess. All we need to do is color this. Let me like tab back in. Do I need the end for anything else? No, I don't think so. If I want to do any custom like cuts and stuff, I would, but I'm not gonna do that. All right, I am back. So we need to finish the toy car rope yellow. Need to change this to yellow. Slightly faded out, more faded out than that. It's actually a bit brighter, so a little more kick to that. Which can, of course, come into here. Add texture, Voronoi, UV, bump, 0.1. Plug that in. Needs to be around object? I don't remember. Because I can't quite tell what's happening there. There we go. And set that to 100. Invert it. And there we go. Then with this color here, main white, I want to do something. Let's see. So we need texture, wave. I gotta remember how to do this. So UV into itself. Color ramp, probably. Color ramp. Color ramp. Mix as well. Like multiply, I guess, or screen. Like don't change anything, but you do need to cross them against each other, so rotation needs to be, one of these needs to be rotated the other way. That does nothing. Okay, so this does cut across that. I don't know why the line isn't as strong. Going well because of the factor. So you need that. Then you need to duplicate this whole thing again. And then plug them into each other, I think. But they need to be, what you call it, different. Like sizes and distortions. Maybe this is a screen instead. You have to actually kill some of this. Increase the white, perhaps. They need to be not necessarily the same position either. Could be rotated other direction as well. It's kind of removing the, I need this to be the other way. It needs to remove the top from the bottom. Like I want this to eat into that. But that's just actually just doing that. I just always forget how to do this. It's always annoying. Like six for that. Scale doesn't matter. Like a 2 on that as well. Then you can scale this up to 11 and 11. And now you're getting that, which is not what you want. You need to like remove one from the other. And that's just not working now because of how much I changed. Like a 1 and a 1. Distortion. 11. Increasing this. That just makes the lines blacker. This does erase a lot. That does like cut off a lot of things, but yeah, it needs to be big enough on both sides. They have to be the same-ish, but just with these change. The distortion's pretty heavy there. What about on you? Like a 5. 5. 5. So 5 for everything, just to see. Kind of just to scale everything now. Maybe let's do a value. And then this into that. And then U into you, and then we gotta go into the last one. You know, just as slow as humanly possible. You stop U into U. Okay, so now it's in all of the scales. I can just control everything together. You can make this look better. It's just I am struggling to get it to be the right place. Three's okay. So we don't plug that into that. What we do is we plug it into the normal. So bump 0.1. And I think that's normal there. The regular normal. Computer doesn't like that. You can't really see. You see there is like a bunch of stuff happening now on the textures. I can't tell if it's indented or I think it's concave or convex. It needs to be concave. I think it's concave by itself, by default. So let me just see the positioning of that. Everything's fine for that except for the back of that's pretty rough. The nose needs its own, I think, because that's it's too big. So this can go down to a 1. And maybe even the back here can have its own, and that can go down to a 2 or 1 as well. I can live with that, and then we need to just grab all of this, copy that, come to this, move this stuff out of the way, paste it down here. I can just have it way down there, and then plug this into the normal as well. Also, we gotta remember to unplug this. Even though you can't see it, it has like scratches, quote unquote scratches all over it to give it some texture, right, to the plastic. Let's, if I crank this up, will it make it easier to see? Yeah, it doesn't really matter how high it's cranked, it doesn't really show because of the subsurface scattering, I think. Like if this was set to 0, okay, even set to 0, they just don't show up that much, which is fine. Undo that. I think we're done. I don't think there's anything else I need. I think it's like perfect. Anything on the sides? Why is the side also empty? No, that's just, they're just that empty. Just going over the pictures. Again, yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get out of me. And again, like, don't change these, because if you leave it like that, you can get perfect rotations, because these eyes are supposed to do this. They're supposed to do that, right? So their position needs to stay like that. I just wish the white here was more visible, but that's just not gonna happen. Yeah, pretty darn good, question mark, if I do say so myself. I think I always say that, right? I always say like it's so good. It's just all about like trying to get like a good position for the render, question mark. I think I want it to be the other way. No, I want it to be facing this way. I don't know why is the, you know, it's not 50. Just the perspective here is so nuts. Yeah, I want to get like pretty close. Yeah, that's makes for a pretty good thumbnail, right? That should get the point across, question mark, of what this is. I feel like the nose might be a bit... Well, first off, can you go to your origin? It might be a bit too far, so we can pull it back. Just a smidgen, there we go. I think that gets the job done. Question mark. Yeah, let's just see one last thing. You're cranking the subsurface up to the max. Like, how much does that do? Right, because it can be pretty gross, question mark. Okay, I think all the things that have subsurface should have it turned on. I didn't add any scratches to this, should I? I guess I should have added them to everything. Yeah, I think with it cranked up, it's okay. I think I'll leave it like cranked up to the max. I do need to come back over here and apply the scratch tech to the phone. Yeah, I think this one is maybe a bit too strong, and then we need to maybe 2. Because I don't have like the light hitting it decently enough. What does 1 look like? Like that's like 2. Too much. You might need to just distortion. I mean, the distortions are all out of whack, so the fact that they just get straight lines sometimes is just how it goes. So if I do that, maybe, there we go. That'll mix things up. I forgot to distort that one. Okay, we need to crank that one up again. But we gotta go back into like every single one and do that now, though. I forgot to increase it. I don't know if there's that many, it's just this one left. Then we gotta do it to the wheels too, I feel like. And then we're actually done. Make sure this distortion is up. Plug that into the wheels. Make sure it's like not that. So the wheels actually catch the distortion there, the scratching pretty well. A little bit too well, honestly. So 0.5 on that, just so you don't completely see it constant. Like an 8. I think that's good. That's fine. There we go. Say cuties. Thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers so they by becoming a member. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we're getting watch time and subscribers. And don't forget we have a throne now as well. And shout out to the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and Alexgkiller 880. Yeah, cuties. Thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. Also, the QR code for my throne is right above me. Okay. See ya.